Do you ever feel like you just cannot get your critical parent out of your head, regardless of how old you are? I totally understand. This was my life. I could not get my dad out of my head, even though he had died, and it was holding me back in every single area of my life. That low self-worth, that low self-esteem followed me into romantic love, into my relationship with money, in my career, in success, in even in my business. And this one thing that you can do from today to get that voice out of your head so that you can take the action that you want to do and not feel like that voice from your past is pulling you back and keeping you stuck. This is something that you can do right now. And it's really simple to get that voice out of your head. Your internal narrative right now is mirroring what you grew up in, which is the drama triangle. And the drama triangle has these 3 points, which are persecutor, victim, and rescuer. So the victim would have been you. You would have been persecuted by whoever the critical parent was. And they would be saying, you're not good enough, you're stupid, you're ugly, you're this awful person, you are horrid, whatever that persecuted voice was. And that is an unhealthy masculine energy, whether it came from a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. So that persecutor energy is unhealthy masculine. It's like, you are not good enough. Fold yourself up, blah, 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 blah. And the person that criticized you very, very likely had somebody else persecute them. I know that in my story, my dad was the persecutor and he would very much be horrible to me, but other people had been horrible to him. It's a way in families that shame gets passed along generation to generation until someone like you comes along that's like, I am going to break the cycle. I don't want to be critical to other people and I want to make my life better. And I don't want this critical voice in my head to ruin my life for a moment longer. Okay. The other part on that drama triangle is a rescuer. So you may have had someone in your house that was called the unhealthy feminine energy, which is like, oh, poor you. Oh, don't worry, just eat the cake. Don't worry, you can't have that where you are being validated for being a victim. And that is so incredibly disempowering. So, what I want you to do right now is become aware of when you are in these roles, and you may be the rescuer of yourself. So, now that you're an adult, your internal landscape is that those voices. So, it's the voice of the persecutor that's where nothing is good enough. But then there's the voice of the rescuer that's like, oh, don't worry. You can't really have more than that. You can't have that thing. Really reinforces the narrative of that victim within you. Right now, you are moving around that triangle as those three different energies, the toxic masculine, which is the persecutor energy, or the toxic feminine, which is, oh, don't worry, you can't have that. You're a victim, and it's disempowerment. And what we want to do instead is for you to notice when you are going into those energies and choose the empowerment triangle instead, which is this triangle. The creator instead of the victim. Instead of the persecutor, it has the challenger, and instead of the rescuer, it has the coach. So this is actually you embodying healthier feminine and masculine energy. So the persecutor is the toxic masculine, but the healthy masculine is actually the challenger. And the healthy feminine alternative to the rescuer is actually the healthy coach. So, how this looks like is that you are not the victim to this childhood anymore. You are an adult now. You are stepping out of the drama triangle. You are not that version of you. You are stepping out of the drama triangle into the empowerment triangle. And you are basically going to notice when you are going into a persecuted behavior or you're trying to rescue yourself and saying you can't have the thing and keeping yourself disempowered. And you're going to switch those energies. So you're going to come out of the persecutor and be the challenger. So what the challenger is, and this is healthy masculine energy, it is like having really healthy inner boundaries. We don't talk to ourselves like that anymore. That's the challenger. We don't talk to ourselves like that anymore. It's having boundaries with other people. You might get extra critical on yourself when you are around a certain type of person. A healthy challenger within you is like, we are no longer going to spend our energy there because you get really critical of yourself. So we're not doing that anymore. So it will be setting boundaries with others and with yourself. And it will also be having a level of like discipline which is being really devoted on the person that you're becoming. So rather than the narrative of, oh, I've got this childhood and I've been through all this stuff, the challenger is like, yeah, okay, you have been through this childhood, but let's follow these steps, or let's go find out what those steps are so we don't have to allow someone to treat us like that. If you comment regulation, I have a nervous system tool guide to help you master your emotions. I go through everything about how to do this in more detail. It's completely free. You're going to notice when you are in that persecution and you're going to switch it to the challenger. You're also going to notice when you're kind of rescuing yourself and actually really just validating yourself and keeping yourself as a victim, okay, which is that more unhealthy feminine. And you're actually going to be like the coach. So you're going to be like the cheerleader. I'm so freaking proud of you. You can do this. I believe in you. You're enough. And what you're doing with this exercise, by the way, you are changing your inner world. So the unhealthy masculine and feminine energies that are around you, that highly criticism and that victimize you and make you feel powerless, you're coming into that empowerment triangle. So you're becoming very aware of what your different voices in your head are, and you're choosing in that moment to either choose the coach or the challenger. Now, the creator, when we were in the drama triangle, the victim is like, I'm just not enough. I can't do this. I can't have more money. I can't have the healthy relationship. I can't do all of these things. That's what that victim feels like. But the creator is, I am the creator of my own reality. I am creating this present moment with my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions. And are my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions, are they empowering me or are they disempowering me? That's the creator. So you're like, okay, I'm noticing that I am thinking that I'm a really bad person. I'm noticing that I have got shame right now, right? And you, as the creators, I am going to not choose to feel shameful and not good enough. I'm going to use the nurturing energy of the healthy mother. I'm going to use the protection of the healthy father to feel, to process this shame. So when you have a healthy mother, she can help you because she'll be like, oh, are you feeling not good enough? Okay, sweetheart, let me give you a hug. That's really normal. You're doing something new. It's really, really difficult. And yeah, it's understandable that you feel like that. When I don't feel not good enough, I like to write a list about all the things that are great about me, and that really helps me. So what you're actually doing by being the creator is when you are feeling a disempowered feeling, you are not spiritually bypassing it and you are not ignoring it. You are going, okay, let me use the feminine coach energy to help me to feel like I am enough. Or let me use the healthy feminine energy to regulate myself, to soothe myself. Everything is in that guide that will really help you. Just comment regulation and we'll send it to you. And then when you're in, okay, I'm not talking to myself very nice, so I'm stuffing my face with unhealthy food, and then I'm hating on myself and I'm being really critical to myself, you can go into that more healthy masculine energy, which is simply, we don't do that anymore. And it's not shaming, it's just a healthy boundary. And there is a process of moving from the energy of the drama triangle inside your internal system. For those of you that have been through abuse and through trauma, chaos and drama was just normal. So, of course, your nervous system is wired into that. And now we're going to wire your nervous system into empowerment so that you will actually notice the more and more you practice going into that empowerment triangle, that the voice of the negative parent, critical parent, is less loud because you are basically not constantly dysregulating yourself, going into chaos. And that's actually how we turn the volume. So I used to really struggle with this voice of criticism in my head because of my dad. Because I lived with him for 26 years. That was the radio station that he was blasting in my ears constantly. And 18 years after he'd been gone, after he'd passed, I would still be doing it in my head. I would still be doing all of the freaking shame. And actually, I have learned to be like, okay, you're feeling shame. So rather than be making the shame about me that I'm not good enough, why am I not feeling good enough? Oh, I'm telling myself a story. I'm hearing my dad's voice in my head. I need to say, no, you're not allowed in my head anymore. And you can do that, by the way. You can say, nope, we don't talk to ourselves like that. Nope, he's not allowed in my head anymore. Nope, we don't do that. And that's that healthy challenger energy. That's that healthy masculine. And when we're embodying the healthy mother and the healthy father, that child within us can become the creator over the victim. So it gets to repair what you haven't had in the past. And then you can actually receive healthy love because you are having healthy love within your system. Now, this is the work we do in my It Ends With Me community because it is a journey of recovery to recover from the way that you were treated. And in my community, which is lots of people that have had narcissistic critical parents, and we are recovering from that abuse, and we are recovering to have more expansive lives, having more money, more love, more soul alignment, living in our hearts, and not letting that criticism ruin our lives, right? And it's not just the critical parent, it's also the critical voice of society. It's also the messages we get from TV, from our families. It's not just the critical parent. I know I've worked with clients who have had critical parents, but they have changed. They're like, okay, well, he doesn't even do that anymore. But yeah, I'm still doing it in my head because it's not really about them. It's about the energy that came into you when they were in that frequency and how you still have it in your body. So when you are switching from drama triangle to empowerment triangle, that's shifting your thoughts for a start and your feelings. In the community ends with me, I teach you how to process the shame, how to process the grief. You are in a space where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling shame about this. And for someone to say that isn't your shame, it's okay for you to let that go now. That's an old story. That's not real. And it's actually just having that opportunity. And I'm inviting people into my community call on the 12th of February for a very low price. If you comment community, we'll send you a link to that event. You can come and join us live, or you can catch the replay afterwards, where I'll be going through how to receive easy love. Because when you've had a critical parent and they told you for so many years that you're just not enough, that erodes at your self-esteem and your self-worth, which means that feeling like you could have easy love, easy money, easy success, all of that feels freaking impossible because of that childhood. So in this workshop, The Great Receiver, I'm going to tell you how we heal the shadows that you're carrying at the moment that are blocking you from like easeful expansion because of the past, right? This is a great tool to use as you go through your day. Which triangle am I in and which role am I playing? And how do I go to the opposite? How do I go from the victim to the creator? Which is simply as I am the creator of this present moment. My thoughts, my feelings, my actions are creating this. How can I use the challenger or the coach to support me to move through this process? Now, the healthy mother, she self-soothes, she takes care of the child's emotional needs, of nourishment, and the healthy father is the protector. He is the energy of boundaries and of that is not okay. And so as you start to do that, you will heal more of your younger self. And like I said, come into the community It Ends With Me. We do this together. Recovery is, day to day embodiment, right? So that you can shift these things. But this tool that I shared with you today, I've had clients, feel better in days of using it. So enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.